Hi everyone, welcome to week 4. We're moving right along. It's hard to believe that at the end of this coming module we will be 1/3 of the way finished with our course. So in this week's video I am going to be discussing the research paper outline that is due at the end of this module. I'm going to go briefly over the guidelines and rubric, and then I'm going to show you a couple of examples. So let's get started. Okay, I've brought up on the screen a copy of the guidelines and rubric for the research paper outline. This first section is taken directly from the main research paper guidelines, which state that in week 4, Module 4, you will submit a 1 to 2 page double-spaced outline. Your outline should include your preliminary references list and a title page. You need to submit your outline via Canvas by the end of the module, when I will provide feedback. The next section of the outline guidelines provides the actual outline template that you are to use, and using this template is part of the grading rubric for every step throughout the rest of the paper. So when you start with the outline in this step of the research paper, you will continue to use the same format, although at the next step we will remove the outline numbering and turn to more of a narrative presentation of our paper. But for the outline, you will actually use exactly what's provided, including the numbering of the main headings and the lettering of the subheadings. So that will be an important part of the grading rubric. So there are 4 main headings in the research paper as listed here: understanding multiple influences, understanding development characteristics and needs, and the other 2 are listed below. And then under each of those 4 main headings there are a varying number of subheadings that will be included in your paper, and you can see them outlined by the lowercase letters. The last thing in the guidelines that you need to pay careful attention to is the rubric. So your outline is worth a total of 10 points, and the point distribution is as follows. Turning in your paper by the due date is worth 2 points. The due date criteria of the outline is either it's all or nothing. You turn it in by the due date for 2 points, or you turn it in after the due date for 0 points. The second criteria for grading of your outline is that you follow the outline format. So for the full credit, your submission follows the outline, including all the headings, subheadings as provided in the guidelines. You could earn 1 point if your paper mostly follows the outline, and 0 points for not following the outline. The next criteria in the grading rubric is for content. So under each heading and subheading, you earn full points by addressing the content for each heading and subheading in a clear way that's directly related to that particular subheading. You can earn 1 point if your content is somewhat centered around the headings and subheadings and your approved topic, or 0 points if you do not address the topic or the outline headings. You can earn up to 2 points for appropriate spelling and grammar, so be sure that you are utilizing the tools that are found in your word processing app. And then finally, your references list, your APA formatting within your outline can earn you a maximum of 2 points. So the total for the outline possible is 10 points. The next example that I want to show you is a quick example that, let me find it, that I put together. It's what has been posted in Canvas, although I did do a more detailed example that I'll show you in just a couple of minutes. But for those of you who have taken a look, and I've modified it even just a little bit, for this paper you would have just a regular assignment formatting at the top with your name, the course prefix and number, and then the assignment. Then the approved research paper topic would be there centered. And then, as you can see in this outline, the wording from the guidelines is used exactly for the first main heading, then for the first subheading. Below, you can see that some specific information that will guide your paper is being added. So under the first subheading, there are two statements listed. Here, in parentheses, I wrote appropriate citation. In this particular example, I did not start a references list. However, this example just shows that for each subsection, you do need to provide a relevant citation to a source that you've already begun looking for, that where you pulled this information out. So for every subheading where you add information, and you should be adding information to each subheading in your outline, but there should be at least one reference in your outline. So for this particular example that I created, I only really provided example in the first main section of the outline. For the second, third, and fourth, I just wanted you to see what the format should look like and how you should present the information, so I did not copy over information here. After you finish your outline with 1 or 2 sentences to support each subheading, that's all you need to do. This is not a draft of your paper, it's simply an outline, sort of bringing your thoughts from your research paper topic a little bit more narrow to fit in to the outline template that is provided. After you've finished addressing all 4 of the main areas of the paper, you are also going to start your references list. I didn't start one here, but in the next example that I have, I am going to show one to you. So I'm going to go ahead and move to that document so you can get a better look. So in this example, this is actually an example that has been turned in within the last year in this course that was an exemplar paper that could be shared with each of you. So at the top of the paper, you will notice that we've already started with the running head. I will provide you with a link that shows a quick YouTube video tutorial on how to appropriately format, according to APA guidelines, your running head. In your title page, you will need to center excuse me, your approved topic for your research paper, followed by your name, first and last, the university name, and then the month and year. This is likely something that is going to change during the different submissions because your outline is due at the end of this week, which is June. Your final paper is not due. I think your draft is due in July, so when you turn in your draft, you will change this to July 2020, and then your final paper is not due until August at the very end of the semester, so you will change this date as your paper moves along. For this example of an outline, again, you need to use the headings as they are provided, strictly as they are provided in the template. So the first main heading is Understanding Multiple Influences on Development and Learning, and the subheadings are used verbatim from the guidelines. So the first subsection under the first main section is to define a particular biological or environmental factor. this part, see weekly sessions 3 and 4 for examples, could actually have been left out, but I did not count off points for that. So the name of this paper, the title of this paper, is The Impact of Down Syndrome on Language Development in Children. This is not a topic that has been approved this semester, so no one will be able to just copy this exemplar paper to turn in. So here is information that was provided, basically just one sentence. It also includes citations to sources that have been reviewed already. So take a look. I've posted this. I added this outline example to the assignment link so you can take a look at this very carefully. Again, each heading and subheading must be used exactly as it is presented in the template. Then you are going to add 1 or 2, but not more, at this point, sentences to begin to formulate your thoughts as your paper continues to grow. So, if you will notice, there are some citations, parenthetical or in-text citations, that are used multiple times, and that is fine. It's probably not likely that even though you've started to look for articles for your paper that you've read them all. I wouldn't expect at this point in the semester that you would have done that. But taking a look at the abstract, at a quick review of the article should provide some information to support what you're putting into your outline. I'm just going to scroll through to the bottom because in this example, an outline, a references list has been started. And what I want you to know about the outline is that while I will check to see if every source that you cite in text is listed in your references list, so there is Marshall et al., and if I scroll down, I can see that Marshall et al., the full citation is included in the references list. So I will check that. However, I won't check in reverse. I won't check at this point that every reference that you provide a full citation for in your references list is used in your outline yet, because I know that at this point you should be just searching for articles, and Kelly gave you a really great example of how to use the university libraries to search for articles for your research paper. She has also offered to assist you if you need some help, and she also provided a university librarian who is assigned to the College of Education, where you could reach out to him as well for assistance if you need it. But you do need to start on your references list, and you need to be reviewing the APA 7th edition for how to format that. I'm also going to, in the announcements, post a brief tutorial on how to format your references list as well. That will be coming up very shortly. So that's basically it. This actual paper that was submitted was actually 6-7 pages in length. So the 1 to 2 pages is basically for the outline. That does not include your title page. That does not include your references list. But also, I think this particular outline was maybe even over 3 pages, but I would not expect it to be any longer than that. So just be sure that you're giving brief information under each subheading. One thing that I did want to mention is that in this particular outline you can see that this last subsection of the fourth main section does not have any in-text citations in it. So that would be something that you might lose a point for on your outline. So be sure to look very closely, because at this point you should not just be throwing your ideas down. You should be actually looking at some of the sources that you are identifying for using in your paper. So those are just a couple of examples for you to